share my screen, everybody. Can everybody see my slides?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I'm just going to move you out the way a bit. That's cool. So thank you for inviting me to talk briefly and a bit of an insight into this crazy world of AI, artificial intelligence. And I've been very lucky recently has started to use AI in my ministry as a children, youth, and family worker in my home church in Ball in Nottingham. So I'm going to be able to show you some demos later in the slides, and we can ask AI chatbot, um, and we'll see what it comes up with. Okay. So today we're going to explore how artificial intelligence is something that's increasingly shaping the world. It can play a role in our ministry as youth and children workers, and we're always looking for ways to better connect and with the discipling of the children and youth. AI is already influencing their lives, and it's crucial that we understand it, not just as its opportunities, but also understand its challenges. I hope this session isn't about just having all the answers for you. Instead, it's about starting the conversations about how we can use this thing called AI. And let's explore this with our Christian values hat on and our mission hat on. So, what is AI? I might be telling you something you already know, or it might be completely new to you. But here are some of the basics. So, it's artificial intelligence. It refers to a system or machine that mimics the human thinking and decision making. The systems learn from data, identifying patterns, and can make decisions or recommendations. AI powers tools like voice assistants already like Siri and Alexa, chatbots like those when you go to the customer services, and it also connected to our social media accounts through the algorithms. So AI is still in everything we do, but might not even use. AI can also be found in the apps like for personal learning at schools and colleges, in Bible apps, and everything like that, in mental health platforms. While AI might seem like a futuristic concept, it's already deeply embedded in our everyday lives and the lives of our young people we serve. Why does it matter to youth ministry? Well, it matters. AI is shaping our young people in their thinking and in their learning and connected with others. For assistance, AI drives much of our social media content and influencing and trying to look at our values. It personalizations, learning experiences, while can shape the energy and engaging education information regarding faith resources. AI is also present in entertainment, in gaming, and even in the way we build friendships online. So my session goals for this taster is in threefold. It's about exploring what AI can enhance our ministry, navigating its challenges. We discuss the risks, like the ethical dilemmas and the need of discernment. Sorry, I bet you can hear my doorbell in the background. Apologies. That's AI at its best at the moment. And together we can reflect on how to use AI in ways that honor God and strengthen our mission to disciple the next generation. AI is already in a huge part of young people's lives. It's intergenerational, it's in our technology, it's in that social media algorithms, it's in the virtual assistants, which I've named, but most of all, it's in absolutely everything. How young people are interacting with AI every day of every week. But while AI offers great opportunities, it comes with challenges. Shaping opinions. So AI driven content feeds can expose them to harmful ideas, often without them even realizing it. Online time management. AI algorithms are designed to keep users engaged, often leading to an excessive screen time or unhealthily digital habits. Privacy concerns. Young people may not be fully understanding how their data is being collected and used by AI tools. Dependence on AI is a reliance on AI for the answers or social interactions can limit crucial thinking and interpersonal skills. It's vital that we as youth workers and children workers help our children and young people navigate these interactions thoughtfully, guiding them to use AI in ways that it's a benefit to their personal growth and with their faith. AI can revitalize how we communicate in our ministries. So, for example, chatbots. We can send out event reminders, answer frequently asked questions, or even provide directions to events. Image having a tool that works 24/7, ensuring parents and young people stay informed without the need of constant manual updates. In addition to chatbots, AI-powered emails tools can personalize messages based on the preferences of our catchment, increasing engagement and connection. Social media scheduling and platforms where AI connected can save time. We also have personal studies of learning. So AI, you can ask a question and see what output it gives you to embrace your faith and your learning. These personalization makes learning more engaging and accessibility, helping young people connect with the Bible in a way that resonates with their unique needs. AI can also recommend related resources such as videos or devotional material based on the topics they're studying. I've seen AI at work in mental health support. AI-driven counseling tools can be a lifeline for a young person struggling with mental health challenges. But these tools provide that intimate resources, such as guided meditations or access into crisis helplines too. While not a replacement by human counselors, AI can fill the gaps and offering support when young people need it most, especially outside of those working hours, those office hours. We can use it for creative engagement. AI is a fantastic resource for creating visual appearances, engaging content on Facebook and on all the other social media platforms. You can link it to Canva, Magic Design, or any video editing. This helps produce promotional materials, which can produce for your events and for your church services. These tools enable us to maintain a constant online presence while also freeing up time for other ministry tasks. AI generated visuals can also be used in teaching sessions and events to make this message more engaging and more relevant. And of course, after school club session planning. It can help you um, plan your sessions and for your content of your Bible readings and any icebreaker games, crafts, and discussion prompts. Additionally, AI powered tools can help with scheduling your diary. So there is absolutely loads and loads it can offer us. But navigating ethical dilemmas, there is a significant ethical concerns we must address by using AI in ministry. One major issue is the privacy, ensuring that any data collected by AI tools, such as personal details or usage patterns, is stored and used responsibly. Young people often share personal information without realizing the implications. So it's our responsibility to choose the tools that prioritize our safeguarding their data. The other concern I have with AI is misinformation. AI systems, particularly those trained on large data sets, can sometimes produce inaccurate or biased information. For example, search engines and chatbots might provide answers that reflect cultural or ideological basis. As youth workers, we need to fact check AI generated content, ensuring it aligns with our biblical truth and Christian values. By thoughtfully navigating these dilemmas, we can use AI in a trustworthy and ethical resource in our ministry. Balancing technology and human connection, AI is a very powerful tool, but it can never replace the depth and authenticity of human relationships. Discipleship is deeply personal. Young people need mentors who can listen, emphasize, and walk with them through their faith journey. While AI might help with scheduling and providing resources, it lacks that ability to show genuine care and compassion. For example, a chatbot can answer a Bible question on a Bible passage, but it can't offer the same encouragement or insight that comes with a heartfelt conversation with a children or youth leader. Our role is to ensure technology remains a tool, not a substitute, for building meaningful relationships. Ministry is about connection, both with God and with one another, and AI should enhance, not distract or deterrent from what our mission is all about. We can over rely on AI. We must guard against becoming reliant and dependent on AI in our ministry. While it's attempting to learn about AIs for efficiency and spiritual guidance, is a role we are humans called to by God who can truly fulfill. AI can support us by creating content, organizing schedules, and brainstorming ideas, but it can't replace the discernment we have, the prayer, and the personal wisdom that come from relationships with God. Young people need leaders who model faith, reliance on the Holy Spirit, qualities that AI can never replicate. So by keeping AI in its proper place, it's a supportive tool rather than a central figure. We can ensure that our ministry remains Christ-centered focused. Here's some ideas how you can use AI in the youth and children's ministry. You can use biblical principles. I've picked out Matthew 22:39, reminds us that love your neighbor as you love yourself. This commandment underscores the importance of using AI in ways that reflect God's love, whether it's through creating tools that foster connection, supporting mental health, or providing personalized spiritual guidance. In 1 Thessalonians 5, he urges us to test everything, hold fast what is good. As Christians, we are called to be discerning, and not every AI tool will align with our values, and some may carry risks, such as spreading misinformation. We need to evaluate these tools prayerfully, asking whether they truly serve the mission of discipleship and community building. And in Romans 12, of course, do not to conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by renewing of your mind. In a world where technology often promotes trends that are self-centered and superficial, we are called to use AI in a way that transforms lives for Christ. This means using the tools thoughtfully, creatively, encouraging spiritual growth, fostering relationships, and reflecting God's kingdom's values. In AI ministry, these principles remind us that AI should not merely be used for convenience or efficiency, but as a tool to glorify God and to serve others. When we approach AI with discernment, love, and a commitment for transformation, it can become a powerful means of fulfilling our ministry with children and youth. It can be used in after school clubs ministry, Sunday morning teaching sessions to help you develop teaching plans, craft discussion questions, and even create biblical study materials. It can also help you create daily devotionals on a weekly or daily basis, or exactly what it is all about, using it in our websites and Facebook updates. AI tools can help write concise, engaging updates for your ministry in with the websites and social media. So it's now time to see Chat GTP at work in real-time responses. And if any of you'd like to ask any questions, then let's put it into AI, shall we? I'm just going to share my AI screen. Can everybody see? It says, what can I help you with? Yeah, cool. So I use the open source AI called Chat GPT, and you can have a free version of this, and all you need to do is sign up using your email address or Microsoft account or anything like that. Or because I've been using this for 2 or 3 years now, I've signed up to and actually subscribe to Chat GTP on a monthly basis, and with that comes an array of different applications. So I'm just going to quickly just show you a few ideas of how to use this. So I'm going to say, write a devotional for John 3, verse 16 content. And here it goes. And within seconds, it is created a daily devotional. Can you all see that, or is the writing quite minute?
I can see it.
You can see it. That's great then.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
okay.
So as you can see, it's picked out the piece of scripture which I have just requested, and it is now created a reflection which you can send out um, through your email systems if it's a daily devotion, if you do it by email, or you can copy paste this into your website, or you can put it onto social media. And this is one area which I use in my ministry from time to time. If I've been leading worship on a Sunday morning with the children and young people, I then sometimes ask ChatGPT to do a devotional, and I sometimes send that out after I've done my preaching on that Sunday morning. And because I've used this very, very often, what it does is then starts to learn about you. It starts to learn about the kind of content and the layout you would like. So it knows when I ask for a daily devotion, it knows to type up the Bible verse. It then says about putting a devotional reflectional script together, but it also then uh, has what I call the challenge at the end, and AI calls it the application, and how we can use this in our daily lives. And then it finishes with a prayer, because it always knows that when I ask for devotion, it knows what content I would like it to produce. So I can also show you my next question. If when you read the content, and if you don't agree with it, it's good to challenge back ChatGTP, and it will then start learning. It will ask you a question: why do you believe this, and why do you believe that? And it helps the whole wide web, of course. So I use this in session planning. So I'm going to ask it to create a session plan for 7-year-olds to 11-year-olds. I want games and crafts and refreshment time. So as you've just seen, within seconds, it's created a session plan for 7 to 11-year-olds on the theme of God's love for us. It puts your session plan into segments for you. So as you can see, there's a welcome introduction. There's a game. It's called God's Loves Relay, and we're going to play that for 15 minutes. It's then got a craft idea for you for 20 minutes. And it also, with this craft ideas, I've taught the system that when it suggests any crafts, it tells me what materials I need to use, and it also gives me instructions on how to make that craft. We also got a Bible verse scavenger hunt, a refreshment break, and a closing activity, prayer time, and a wrap up. And here's the materials checklist at the end. Has anybody got anything you'd like me to ask ChatGTP? Is everybody happy what they've seen? Would you like me to show you more?
I've got one you could try.
Okay.
So just ask it, how could I adapt this session for special educational needs?
So within seconds, it's going to modify. So one of the things I would probably ask you is, what are some of the special needs? I don't know who was talking, sorry.
Oh yeah, so that was me.
Yeah,
Um, I'll throw out some random examples.
yeah.
Um, a 13-year-old with autism and a 16-year-old in a wheelchair.
So straight away, I've just used the wheelchair as an example, and here straight away it's done an adaptation, ensuring the space is accessible with enough room for the wheelchair to navigate comfortable. So that's a bit of a welcome introduction. And it says here, consider welcoming by mobility challenges and providing additional support to that young person. And it's modified, as you can see here in the relay, and it's also took into consideration about obstacles and how to navigate through that as an example. So it's all about um, what you feeding the chat GTP. And again, like I said, it's all about when you if you've got a group and it's called I've got a group called Wacky Wednesday, and they are 70, 11 year olds, and it knows there's 25 people, 25 young people, and it knows that I've got some SEN children in that group as well. So when I ask for a Wacky Wednesday session, it takes that into consideration. Megan.
Thank you. You've kind of moved on to answering my question. I was going to ask, like, does it know that those are those young people and children in that group because you've told it, or is it because you've got the paid version, so it's kind of, it's got a
Okay,
bit of its brain dedicated to you, or, what level of registration do you need for it to be a
for it to
reliable?
learn about you. Yeah.
Yeah, do you know?
So it learns about you in the free version. Yeah. The difference between the free version and the paid version is in the paid version, it's got a built-in memory. So if you, like I've taught it to remember everything what happens in our church program. So every week I do the Facebook updates. So every week I say to it, I'm doing my Facebook updates this week. Can you create some content for me? So it recognizes that on a Monday we have this, on a Tuesday have that. That's the only difference, Megan, really. The free version, it is learning about you. It knows about the content of your groups, but in the paid version, it starts to build up a bigger brain as such. So as always, when you pay for things, you get a better product at the end of the day. And I've only just recently, in the last 6 months, started to pay for that because I've seen the benefits of the paid version compared to the free version, but you have still got lots of um, resource with the free version in ChatGTP. And I can only talk from this because I don't know about Copilot by Microsoft. Yes, that does the same thing. You can have a free version and a paid version. I
So I
hope that
can,
answers. Yeah,
it does, yeah. I can see in your little appendix on the left-hand side, like you've
yeah,
got Facebook automation,
yeah.
Does it link to your Facebook and your website, or do you literally copy and paste what it tells you and just put it straight over?
So what you got to remember with ChatGPT is it's only a chat bot. So whatever content you've got to produce, you've got to then at least copy paste into whatever you're doing. But if you give an example, let me just do it. I'll show you an example of one of my Facebook. Um, so on Saturday night, I've got a family film night, and so I will ask it to do me a family film night advert. So straight away, you could by just using the word. Yes, I've asked this question many a time with it, Megan, about family film night, and it knows what the content is. But if it was a brand new event, it's got such a brain, it knows the sort of things you expect in an event. So you can ask it to create you an advert for Slimming World coming into your church. You would then get that advert and then you then read it and then go, okay, can you change this, please? Can you change that, please? Or you could just simply copy paste it straight into Facebook. And I use this once a week on Facebook. I program Facebook in the scheduler so all the adverts go out on each of the days. And it's same with emails. It's a chatbot at the end of the day, Megan. You have to copy paste your content, but there are AI tools out there which you can link to Facebook and do it all for you. But at least with this, you've got a bit of control at the moment. Is there some questions I've seen pop up?
That was just me saying that I was really
Oh,
impressed with that. Yeah.
yeah.
But thank
Okay.
you. No, that's helpful for me. Thank you very much. I don't know if anybody else has any questions or comments.
Dave, if you were looking to produce a visual rather than a written advert, would you still be using ChatGPT?
So in the paid version of ChatGTP, you can ask it to create PowerPoints and other things. I've used it a few times. I've given it some bad feedback at the moment because it's still new to ChatGTP, the design of clip arts and stuff like that. So that's one of the reasons I've not shown you because I'm not impressed with that sort of image creating because it looks quite weird. But I could give you an example. Design a logo for Sunday Youth. Let's see what it kicks out. Straight away, as you can see, it's brilliant, isn't it? And yes, you can ask it, you can put your it allows you to put your a mouse round the spelling mistake and actually tell it to spell it correctly. This is the bit I'm not quite impressed with it at the moment, so I will give it a thumbs down at the moment. um it's created a lot of things like that where spelling mistakes are happening, unfortunately. And I've gave some critical feedback. If I'm paying for something, I expect it to work. You can ask it if you want to write a prayer on love. I'll leave that up so you can have a quick read to see if it aligns with our faith. Are people in quite impressed with this? You could even use it in work. Yes, like I put about a prayer for love. I did a all age worship on Sunday, and as we know, it was the spirit, gifts of the spirit. And I want it to do me all a children's talk. And here we go. Yes, Richard.
It's just a slightly different point. I was the one responsible for signposting Leo to the AI Academy stuff. And one of the most fascinating things, you see, there's a little sentence at the very bottom of the chat that says ChatGPT can make mistakes.
Yeah,
And
correct.
found it fascinating when we were shown what that might look like. And there's one, I think it's a famous one, when it asked ChatGPT to spell or ask it how many letter L's there are in a certain word, and it doesn't get it correct. So I just want examples like that where it just kind of highlights the need to double check things.
Mm. And that's what I do all the time, Richard. On any piece of content, whether it's big or small, whether it's being posted onto Facebook or wherever it's being used, it's I encourage everybody to read the content and challenge back or ask it to change wording or sentences or give it bad feedback and ask it to rewrite again. It's I that's what it's all about for me, Richard. I think it's all about it's a tool which we can use to help, but we also because it's in an ever evolving world we live in. It's also AI is also learning about us and about each other. Joe?
Yeah, it's just a point on that and a question, I guess. So firstly, I think it's important for us to remember that it's a bit of an idiot at the moment. It's in some
Mm.
cases, whatever form of large language model you use. Um, but this is the worst version that our kids are ever going to experience, and its IQ will only continue to increase in that respect. The other thing was just on data protection, so a little bit dull, but important. Um, are there safeguards that you would put in place to make sure that, for example, that ChatGPT isn't learning deeply personal information that would make a young person identifiable
So
if there's
it's a
data
good it's a
breach?
yeah, so I touched briefly on the privacy bit, Joe, and it's about what information you're putting into the machine. And part of my youth and children's ministry, it's all about safeguarding, isn't it? So I don't ever give any personal information into the machine. So I've worked with it for now 3 years, and I've never used it with people's names inside. And the only person's name inside the chat GTP is my own. And that's where it's got my contact details in my work. And It's all about what you feed it is what you get out of it. I hope I've answered the question.
Yeah,
So,
it's great.
so
Thanks.
yeah. So at the end of the day, Joe, is don't put personal details in there because it could be shared, of course. Hi, Jeff.
Hi Dave, thanks for all this.
Yes.
I'm a little bit of a I'm sneaking on here because I'm not a youth worker and I'm certainly not a youth, as you can tell. But I think so. The conversation so far has revolved around ChatGPT largely, but I think AI is at its best and it's probably its most dangerous when it works and you don't notice it. So when you talk about entering your personal information, you're talking about entering it into ChatGPT. But if you these days, if you want an app or you want to you want a to use something like Trainline, for example, you need an account, and in order to set up an account, you need to enter your personal details, and that's where AI kind of takes off, I think, when it gets your personal details from other sources apart from things like ChatGPT, and it can form a kind of a personal profile of you. So it's not
Yeah,
just Chat GPT. I think it's our whole digital footprint that is open
exactly. Yes.
to AI. That and there's cookies and stuff which operate with AI and stuff. So it's much broader, isn't it, than just Chat GPT? It's your what I'm trying to say is it's your whole digital footprint. And I've kind of come to the conclusion now that there's no way because I work and I use email and I'm on social media. I can't keep that hidden, and I've kind of given up on trying to hide it, to be honest. But I'm an adult, and I kind of consent to that. I guess it's difficult when you don't consent.
Yeah, and we live in we live in a digital world, don't we? And they've in everything we produce, in everything we want to use a piece of product, whether it's Severn Trent water or gas or anywhere, they always want your at least your first name and email address. And the great thing, and it's same with this Chat GPT. To get a free version, the basic details they ask of you is your name and email address. So yes, it's in the digital world at the moment. Has everybody, does anybody like any more to see about Chat GPT and how it works? Or are we all quite happy with what you've seen?
Megan, do you have a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of partly respond to what Jeff was saying, and
I,
I mean, I was chatting very briefly to Dave and Leo before everybody arrived, Jeff, and I've spent part of the last 2 days of my working time attending a digital safeguarding conference, and a large part of that was about the Online Safety Act, and it just amazed me how kind of like all of these platforms, all of the apps, all the websites, all the social media, that they're not really accountable properly to anybody yet. But there's something that's being kind of phased in between 2023 and 2026. So I think that hopefully we will see some kind of increase in safeguarding and risk management in terms of, um, you know, age consent and data protection and things like that. And it is actually something, and we'll come on towards the end about what our program throughout the year for these subjects. But one of them we're hoping is going to be about digital safeguarding. So it might be that hopefully we'll get someone to speak more into that space on how we can keep young people, children, and ourselves a little bit safer online. But it's definitely, yeah, a hot topic and scary.
it sure is, Megan. It really is. Yes, I've only just shown you Chat GTP, which I use in my ministry every day to help me create some great content and to bring the Bible alive. Um, all I say, if you've never tried this app, then I would say start small. And while we're using it, is engage with our children and young people in discussions so you can help try and influence and try and safeguard our groups. So the more you know about the young people, and then if they are using these apps, get to know them and get to understand why they're using these apps, and start to use it in your sessions. And what I would say is it's nothing to, people are scared of using this, but it's the future, unfortunately. And I would say give a commitment to ongoing learning. But when you do learning with AI, is do that learning with your young people as well. So you can learn from each other and you can partner with them. Thank you for listening to me, and I hope it's been a bit of a taster for you how to use this AI app in ministry. Thank you, Leo.
Thanks very much, Dave. Joe, you have a final question, perhaps?
Yeah, it's just something to add to that, really. One thing, just as a positive with the safety around AI that I have noticed is that at least these conversations are happening around, the new forms of AI in a way that I don't think happened when, the initial social media boom happened, when Bebo and Facebook and MySpace, hit the scene and stuff. So I think that's a real positive and maybe something we've learned from experience.
Thanks. Jeff, the final word will go to you before we tell you all about what else is coming up.
Sorry, Leo. Are there any resources? Has anyone got a resource list, or should I just go to ChatGPT and ask them?
I will send out a list of useful AI sites. So I've put some in the chat already, along with ChatGPT. There's things like sumo.com for music generation, Adobe Firefly for generative art. There's stuff where you can generate videos and all sorts of stuff as well. Some of them take a while to get used to. You have to, although they all have free accounts, they do have a bit of a steep learning curve. So you have to stick with them, I think. And yes, as Richard, I think, has just told me, I can send you the link to the AI Academy, which is the course that Richard and I undertook. And they have a lot of free videos online on YouTube that go through how to use particular tools and the importance, really, of making sure that you ask the right questions to get the answers that you want. Joe, you've got 30 seconds before I hand over to Megan. Or is your hand still raised?
I think it's still raised. Ignore me.
I've put my contact details in the chat if anybody wants to take that, and I'm very happy to support you if you are newly venturing out into the AI world.
Smashing, thank you. And there is a thought that maybe for people that are interested, David said he'd be happy to run a longer session looking at some of the practical ways of using it. So that chat GPT that Dave showed us, actually going into stuff like that in more detail, the more practical aspects behind that. So if you're interested in that, please do email Dave or email me or Megan, and we will arrange that for later in the year. But for now, Dave, thank you ever so much for sharing your time and your experience. In a time such as this, you can only give it a basic taster. So we hope we've whetted one or two appetites and maybe set one or two fears aside. But this is just one of the things that the United Reformed Church Children's and Youth is prepared to offer. And I'm going to hand over to Megan for winding up the evening. Thank you. I will now stop the recording.